Greetings, everyone. In this video, I'm going to talk about what I talked about in class today, and that is two different ways of extracting and isolating the text that you want to talk about and open an STV for further inspection. The first way is, I think, to use, and you should probably feel very comfortable using both. But the first is using a scatter plot and the brush feature of the scatter plot. So what you would do is go under Graph, and you would hit a scatter plot. The scatter plot comes up, you open it with groups, you hit OK. You would go in here, C50, I forgot to label it factor 1, but we know it's factor 1. We'd like to put it in the X variable. C51 is the Y variable. And the categorical variable will be group. So put it there. That's enough to create a simple scatter plot. Now, here you can use the scatter plot to isolate cases. You see the blue is the letters, they're all to the right, and the reminiscences are red and pretty much to the left. You can also easily adorn your scatter plot further or design it further by, let's just say, clicking on this, and you can label this something like narrative description, and then with the arrow, because it's a continuum, narrative description, first person interactive. And you can say that. You can click the title, the y-axis, whatever you want. Use the brush function, which means that you click on any guy, any one of these things. Each one of them is a text. Then you right-click and get the brush function. You can then see the brush function. And over here, it'll say row 3. So when you click on any brush function, you see it'll change the number, watch the number on the left change, and then you go down to the spreadsheet and find, let's say, 57, if that's the number, and it'll be highlighted for you. So there's 57, Stratton 24, and it'll keep a record of where things are. So you see that's number 2. What's that? And number 2 is Mitchell 10. I think we've seen that before. So if you know you want to analyze Mitchell 10 because it's an extreme of a letter, you might go to the T, which is a text box, click on the text box, click Mitchell 10, type Mitchell 10 right in the text box. And you can just put it right near that thing as a label. So also to print out the scatter plot, you just say copy graph. You can copy it, and let's say we find a Word file somewhere. And then you just paste, and voila, it's in your Word document, okay? You can't really make it active from the Word document, so you want to keep in Minitab to spruce it up any way you want, but then you can copy it into the Word document. So that's one way of isolating individual text to then look at in STV individually. The second way of doing it would be to do what I also did in class, which is to do a sort. In the sort routine, what you would do is you go to the first column, which has all of the authors' names. You click on Copy. You go to C50, which is actually factor 1. We'd actually call it factor 1 here. Click here. You'll see paste. So then what you would do is you would collect these. And now you will go to you're going to copy these. Then you're going to find Excel. And you're going to paste. Okay? And then what you're going to do is here you go to sort and filter and do a custom sort. And you're going to sort by column G, which is where the values are. And you're going to say, I want the largest to the smallest. So here you have it. And now you know that these are the extremes. So this also gives you the isolated texts that are most important. So we know Mitchell 10 was an extreme, and here we can see it. It's the most letter-like thing. And the extremes for reminiscences, Stratton, would be 16 and 17. You see they're the most negative. And then the middle cases would be somewhere in the middle. Here's a case where Stratton is between some Mitchell, so that could be a gray case for sure. And also I think there was Mitchell 9 was a gray case somewhere. Yep, right here. We looked at this one in class and saw that it was kind of seemed more narrative and like a letter. So let's actually go to DocuScope and say that we want to look at Mitchell 16, which is the most reminiscence-like. So if we can find DocuScope, just open it up like that. Okay, now we don't need to read them all in. Wait for DocuScope's folder to come up. It lets us choose between STV and MTV. There we go. So we're going to choose STV now, single text visualization. And then we want to get at what again? We wanted Stratton 16. So we open Stratton 16, so we just open that, and there it is. We can actually make the font bigger if we want. And since this is a reminiscence, and it's an extreme, it should have tons of first person. Okay, actually it doesn't. I'm sorry, it's an extreme reminiscence. It should have tons of narrative. Yes, it does, 24, and tons of description, 31. So you see all of the orange would be narrative, and all of the all of the orange is, the red is narrative and the orange is description, because push is emotion description. And so this allows you to read closely and actually see what is happening that makes this analyzed as it is. So I hope this gives you some idea of two methods to isolate the text that you'll be opening an STV and really doing much more serious work on. And I should say one other thing. I forgot, if you want to, and you should be able to extract the text, you click on the first letter, on the first word, and then you go to where you want to finish the selection. Here it's so short we can do the whole thing, and then you do a shift click. And the whole thing gets selected. So you click on the left part of the selection and then do a shift click to the right. And now, if you go to your Word file, you're all set, because you can actually put the paragraph in there and comment on why it is such an extreme reminiscence using these underlines. You don't have to kind of underline it all, but you can just bring some in here, or just put them in bold or colors just to give the reader and me a taste of what kind of selections it has. Hope this has been helpful. I'll talk to you soon. Let me know if you have any questions.